Welcome back everyone, and it's time to go balls. Today I am explaining the entire story of Yuta Okkotsu.
Who?
Now, I know anime only fans don't know who the hell this is, but by the end of the video, you will understand why people say he could be as strong as Satoru Gojo, if not an even stronger sorcerer than him in the future. We all know the girls of this community simp for Gojo. I mean, who wouldn't? Those eyes, those beautiful eyes. I mean,
Simp. That's right, you're a simp.
Goddamn right.
Basically, I will be explaining Yuta Okkotsu's cursed powers and the complete story in Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 0, which is essentially the prequel to the actual anime that is airing right now and the weekly manga that you should be reading. But I'm pretty sure reading in 2021 is like something none of you want to do, and you're not bothered to read the prequel to Jujutsu Kaisen, so I think it's best for you to stick around for the whole video. Otherwise, the future arcs that will air in the anime or the manga will not make sense to you at all. I highly suggest for everyone in our community to read the manga. You're only around 80 chapters behind at this point, and we want to start covering the manga on a weekly basis for you, but we can only do that if there is enough support. So make sure to let me know in the comments that you want us to start covering Jujutsu Kaisen on a weekly basis, hit the notification bell for the channel, and press the like button on the video to show that there is enough support. Volume 0 is a very important aspect of the overall Jujutsu Kaisen story, as it is a prerequisite to everything that we should know for the events we see in the anime to make more sense. Yuta has come back in chapter 137 of Jujutsu Kaisen, and not in a real positive way, but more like hostile. He has been assigned as Yuji Itadori's executioner, and is personally pissed about Toge Inumaki losing his arm because of Suguna. So for those who don't know about Yuta or why he would take Inumaki losing an arm so personally, we'll be doing a full breakdown of his story and relevance in the world of Jujutsu Kaisen. Yuta is honestly one of the strongest characters in this series. In chapter 139, Yuta appears and makes Yuji and Co freeze of fear from just his presence. Yuji even thinks to himself that Yuta's aura felt like Satoru Gojo, but much more ominous. The manga has highlighted this many times regarding Yuta's cursed energy and his potential. Even Satoru Gojo himself referred back to Yuta in the Shibuya incident arc when facing the cursed spirits, stating to Geto that although they will seal him, there is still Yuta, who is a special grade sorcerer that is potentially as powerful as him, if not more, that could deal with them and is going to be a hurdle to their plan. So let's begin from the very start of Yuta's story so that everyone is on the same page in the community regarding why he is so powerful and important to the current events, so that when we cover the actual chapters weekly, we can all understand the theories and the analysis that we will do. So Yuta was first introduced in Volume 0. Yuta Okkotsu was a Okay, wait, I don't know how to pronounce this word. Let me Google that shit right now. How do you say this word? How do you say this word? Melancholy. Okay, let's rewind that shit. So Yuta was first introduced in Volume 0. Yuta Okkotsu was a melancholy kid who had supposedly been cursed by his childhood friend Rika after her tragic death by the hands of a truck driver. This happened in front of Yuta, and ever since he had been haunted or cursed by Rika's vengeful spirit. Seemingly out of his control, Rika would attack anyone who bullied or tried to cause harm to him, not only making him friendless for years, but even keeping him up late at night, hence the deep bags under his eyes. I can kinda relate to that because I've been working my ass off on this channel, grinding and stuff, you know what I mean?
Oh my god, who the hell cares?
Shut your stupid.
The beginning of Yuta's life as a Jujutsu sorcerer began when he was sent to Jujutsu High after Rika injured 4 of Yuta's classmates for bullying him. This put so much stress on Yuta that he tried to kill himself with a knife, but Rika stopped him. This event, just like Yuji Itadori, put Yuta as a target of execution to the higher-ups of Jujutsu High. However, again, like Itadori, Gojo Satoru disagreed with letting Yuta die, and this allows Yuta to actually become a sorcerer instead. So Yuta and Yuji pretty much met Gojo in the exact same way with a very similar agreement, because Gojo has a tendency to help younger people in need, as he has his own ideology that we need to help the younger generation to create a society where there is not reliance upon him and that they can take on the cursed spirits that are to come in the future in a meaningful manner, right? But coming back to the story, Yuta is taken to the Jujutsu High classroom where he meets Pandy, Maki, and Toge Inumaki. And yes, these are the same characters from the Jujutsu Kaisen Goodwill or Sister School arc. Because this is the Jujutsu Kaisen prequel, Maki, Panda, and Toge Inumaki are only first years under Satoru Gojo's teachings. Oh, and I have to mention that this is the year 2017 to be exact. Yuta, first meeting them, instantly puts the three of them on edge and they prepare to fight. Maki holds her cursed spear next to Yuta's head and says, "Hey, don't you know you're cursed? This place is to kill curses, not for people who are cursed themselves." Suddenly, Rika comes out from behind Yuta and grabs Maki's weapon, saying, "Don't bully Yuta!" And at this point, we get a little flashback showing how Rika died in a car accident and her blood being under Yuta's feet with Rika's cursed form. This is when everything started going wrong for our boy Yuta Okkotsu. We come back to reality as Satoru Gojo explains Yuta's situation to the three of them and tells him curses are created from people's pain, agony, and anger. Yuta tried to come off polite to each of the first years whilst being introduced to them, but Maki seems to reject it. Satoru Gojo then tells the four of them that they will be going on a mission for that day's class, but says that they will split into two groups. Panda and Toge Inumaki are put together in one group, whilst Maki and Yuta are in another. Yuta expresses to Maki that he looks forward to working with her, but she replies by saying she thinks his nice guy act is all fake and shit, and that she bets he has been a passive his whole life, basically implying that my man Yuta is a simp with no backbone.
And who's that? Oh, it's Mr. MVP! Simp!
Maki emphasizes that without goals, Jujutsu High is tough, but Panda interjects telling Maki to take it easy on him, whilst reassuring him that Maki can be a bit harsh. However, he agrees with the notion as he believes she is actually right. The mission Maki and Yuta go on together is located at a school where children have been disappearing, and their goal is to find the curse responsible and exorcise it. Satoru Gojo warns Yuta Okkotsu not to unleash Rika because it could be a major problem if she runs wild. Yuta nods in understanding, and then he and Maki begin the mission. They then get attacked by a small group of curses. Maki tells Yuta, who's already scared at this point, that weak curses move in packs and proceeds to take out all the free curses as they proceed inside. This is when Maki asks Yuta what his grade rank is, but when he says he doesn't know, she requests to see his ID. At this moment, she realizes he is a special grade sorcerer, but before her mind can even fathom this and get mind blown, a powerful curse appears out of nowhere and grabs them both, swallowing them. Inside the cursed spirit, they find two children slowly dying from the curse's poison. Maki begins to feel the effects of the poison, and Yuta Okkotsu starts asking what to do for help. Maki gets aggravated and aggressive with him, asking him what was the purpose he came to Jujutsu High. She yells at him about taking the sorcerer occupation seriously and that Jujutsu High isn't a joke. Do something, you dumb bitch! Yuta then confesses that he just wants to find a reason to live and that it is okay for him to continue living. The resolve that Yuta finds to be a Jujutsu sorcerer then comes from Maki's speech, as she tells him if he wants to live, then he needs to exorcise curses and save people. She passes out after saying this, and Yuta decides to summon Rika, asking her to help. Rika proceeds to effortlessly release them from the curse. As Rika is fighting the curse, Yuta carries Maki and the two children to Satoru Gojo. This is when he hears Rika's original spirit behind him in her human form, telling him that he can change and be a better person. This conversation strengthens his resolve. After this mission, Satoru Gojo and Yuta have a conversation regarding Rika's curse. Yuta reveals how he feels like it may be possible that he was the one who cursed Rika rather than Rika cursing him. Satoru Gojo responds that he believes that love manifests the most distorted curses. With those words, Yuta Okkotsu gains affirmation to unravel Rika's curse while he is at Jujutsu High. We continue Yuta's story as Satoru Gojo talks to the elders about him and Rika being dangerous. They mention that Yuta's secret execution is only postponed by Satoru Gojo, and he says if they try to execute him, he would be on his side. So where have we heard this before? As I mentioned before, my man Yuji Itadori.
That's what I'm talking about! That's
Either way, Satoru Gojo leaves the Elder's presence to find Yuta training with Maki in weapon combat. After Maki knocks Yuta back into focusing on their training, there is a flashback where Satoru Gojo tells him that whilst practicing his sword fighting, he should channel the curse energy into the katana he gave him. This is also part of the theory about Rika's return in chapter 137, where we see Yuta with just his katana and calling to Rika. I'll explain this more at the end of the video, so make sure you stick around. But it seems like he harnessed his power and he trained it and he knows how to do it now. So now Panda mentions how Yuta was around for 3 months and has gotten much better at fighting. This Yuta isn't the same weak ass timid boy simp that he once was. Panda points out that Maki seems a lot happier since there is another weapon user. Some playful remarks are thrown around showing how these guys are developing as a team. Now my guy Panda asks Yuta if he likes girls with big boobs or little boobs, and Yuta answers, I don't know, probably medium. And this gives Panda the opportunity to tease Maki, telling her she has a chance, and it's just hilarious scene, bruh. Now Maki, being who she is, she responds with attacking Panda, yelling, the world wildlife isn't gonna save you here, bitch, trying to beat his ass. And whilst this scuffle is happening, Gojo gives Toge Inumaki a mission, along with telling Yuta to follow as support to watch him in action so he can learn from him. At this point of time, Inumaki was a grade 2 sorcerer, higher than Panda and Maki, so he is allowed to go on solo missions. This is where Yuta sees Inumaki's curse technique and learns about its drawbacks. Inumaki can use words as attacks, but depending on how strong his target is, it backfires on Inumaki himself. Just using the ability causes damage and pain to his throat, so he carries around throat medicine for when his throat begins to hurt. Self-explanatory, right? So if you want a detailed video explaining all the powers of the sorcerers, we have covered both Tokyo and Kyoto schools in detail, breaking them down. Everything will be in simple terms for you to enjoy Jujutsu Kaisen a lot more, so I will put the links in the pinned comment for you to binge. And I mean, you got nothing else to do in your life, so why not just, you know, watch our Jujutsu Kaisen videos all day?
The fuck you say to me, you little shit?
Oh wait, oh, I didn't mean it like that. No, you're special. You are important. Oh my god, that came out so wrong. I meant that, you know, you can spend your time watching Bruh, there's no way getting out of this, innit?
Nope.
Please don't hate me, guys. I didn't mean it like that.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Anyway, after handling the initial curse they were assigned to, a random and even more powerful curse arrives, adding extra pressure on both students. Even though his throat is drier than the sand in the middle of the Sahara Desert, Inumaki accidentally drops his throat medicine near this powerful curse when it attacks, enabling him from healing his throat and using his technique. Luckily though, the two were able to escape to catch a moment to recuperate. Inumaki then tells Yuta to stay put as he tries to fight the curse alone, but Yuta Okkotsu refuses, saying that he will fight together with him as he's gained his resolve and training and he wants to prove his worth. These two are brothers in arms now, and they come up with a plan where Yuta gets close enough to grab Inumaki's medicine so that he can throw it back to him so he can finish off the curse. When Yuta approaches, the power of Rika lingering behind him causes it to get scared and angry, so it tries to attack. Yuta manages to dodge while thinking about how kind Inumaki is for wanting to protect him and from fighting this goddamn powerful curse trying to save everyone's life. So this fight was a big confidence and mental boost for his character as he is slowly gaining confidence in himself. This is why he's so pissed in the recent chapters that Toge Inumaki has lost his arm because of Sukuna, and that's probably one of the reasons why he's taken on the mission to kill Itadori himself. During this mission, Yuta Okkotsu gained the ability to push his curse energy into the katana. The plan succeeds, and Yuta gets Inumaki's medicine to him, allowing him to land the killing blow. This mission solidified the relationship between the two characters, making the backbone to Yuta's anger in the current Jujutsu Kaisen arc. The next major part of Yuta's background is his fight with Geto Suguru. Yes, the same Geto that was Gojo's best friend back in Gojo's student days, like we talked about in our video describing Gojo's backstory regarding how he became the strongest sorcerer in the world after the events that unfolded. Geto had a very large part in Gojo becoming the major pillar of strength in Jujutsu world, and is also the exact opposite of Gojo by wanting to change the Jujutsu world by force, but Gojo wants to do it by educating the youth. Geto Suguru was the one to intervene in Yuji and Inumaki's mission earlier. Yuta and Inumaki did not see him during their mission, but Suguru Geto gives Yuta an insight on some of the most evil of curses and accidentally makes him finally unravel Rika's curse later on. One fateful day, months after Yuta's mission with Inumaki, Suguru Geto makes his move to attack Jujutsu High. He arrives at Jujutsu High in Tokyo with allies to declare war. He approaches Yuta and the others to sarcastically greet them, stating, "Nice to meet you," but then instantly starts talking about Yuta's powers, asks for his help regarding killing all non-sorcerers and realizing a world with only Jujutsu sorcerers. I mean, what kind of response was he expecting, my guy? Yeah, sure, Geto, I'll genocide the freaking world with you. You make a lot of sense.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Anyways, this statement leaves all 4 first years confused, and then Satoru Gojo arrives with the principal Yaga. Satoru Gojo tells Geto to stop talking nonsense to his students, and Geto says he just wanted to check out the first years he heard so much about, and then independently names each of them, but once he gets to Maki, he calls her a monkey he doesn't need in his world. This angers Yuta, of course, because my man has a ting for her and vice versa. I don't know, I'm just saying there seems to be a bit of chemistry between the relationship and he cares about them a lot. So Yuta states to Geto, "I don't know what you're talking about, but I won't help anyone who looks down on my friends." Geto smiles and then makes his declaration of war, saying on December 24th at sundown, the night parade of the 100 demons will commence, where Geto will send 1,000 curses to both Shinjuku, Tokyo, and Kyoto. The name Night Parade of 100 Demons is a popular moment in Japanese supernatural lore, hence Geto using the name but actually sending more demons. This is also the event that Megumi mentioned when he recognizes Todo's name. So Geto's attack during Jujutsu Kaisen's prequels volume 0 is what made Todo famous in both schools. Anyway, Geto and his allies begin his retreat. Gojo threatens to not let him leave, but as a counter threat, Geto mentions that he has Yuta and the other first years in the range of his attacks. There are a few cursed spirits that arrive instantly around Yuta and the others, allowing Geto to make his retreat safely without any restrictions. Right after Geto's declaration, Principal Yaga says that Geto Suguru must be executed by accordance of Jujutsu law. Fast forwarding to the day of Geto's attack, it is revealed that his real plan was to get Yuta isolated at Jujutsu High so he could kill him and take Rika away from him. Geto believes that if he gets Rika, he will have the power he needs to take down the Jujutsu school, kill all the non-sorcerers, and begin the mission to create a world with only Jujutsu sorcerers. I will do a video explaining Geto's plan with the brain in the future video, so please make sure to hit the notification bell for the channel and like the video to support us, letting me know that you want this type of content. Back at Jujutsu High in Tokyo, Yuta and Maki have a conversation about her not being able to see curses, how the Zenin clan rejected her and her ultimate goal is to take down the Zenin clan by taking it over. Yuta even agrees to help her, and Maki blushes saying she has to do it alone and walks out of the room saying to herself, "Don't go and think you'll recognize it or something." Immediately after this, Geto puts a veil over the school and commences his attack. Maki gets to him first and gets decimated by Geto with no remorse. Satoru Gojo realizes the trap and sends Panda and Inumaki back to help Yuta while he handles the curses and curse users in Shinjuku. Panda and Inumaki arrive to help but also get beaten by Geto, very easily in fact, and Yuta comes out hearing the confrontation. He witnesses Maki and the others beaten extremely badly and gets enraged. He summons Rika and tells Geto that he is going to kill him. The final confrontation between Geto and Yuta is probably one of the best fights in Jujutsu Kaisen, to be honest fam. Yuta taps into his boundless cursed energy to heal his comrades and even shows how much control of Rika he has gained. We see Yuta use his copy technique to copy Inumaki's cursed speech to destroy the weak curses that Geto summoned to attack. All he had to say is die. So this just showcases how powerful and endless amount of cursed energy he has and why people say he could be stronger than Satoru Gojo. So using Inumaki's power makes Yuta realize just how powerful he is, but it also shows us how unhinged Yuta is whilst fighting. Geto prepares to attack Yuta one-on-one and Yuta does the same. Before they clash, Geto mentions how ridiculous it is for humans to create gods to worship when Jujutsu sorcerers already exist. Yuta is the first to move, going at Geto straight forward, swinging his katana. Geto dodges and blocks Yuta's blows. Geto starts to talk again. My man talks so much during the fight, I might shut the hell up once in a while. So Yuta cuts him off saying, "You think you're a god? You sound like a dumb kid!" Geto then goes on the offensive using an octopus curse to grab Yuta. Then he hits him multiple times with his weapon Playful Cloud. Another fun fact, this is the same weapon Maki uses in the current Jujutsu Kaisen series against the special grade curse named Hanami. That's why she says it doesn't feel good using this. Rika pulls Yuta back from taking another blow, and Yuta says that he's getting the hang of fighting Geto. He starts moving even faster and gets right next to Geto and gets ready for a cursed energy imbued slash, but that overwhelming power breaks the sword. Geto begins to say something antagonizing to Yuta about his control of energy, but he just socks him in the face, cutting him off and sending him flying. Yuta yells out to Geto that he doesn't know if he is right or wrong, but to be able to stay with his friends and to believe he has the right to live, he needs to kill Geto. Geto proceeds to summon a special grade curse, Vengeful Curse Spirit Damomo no Me Incarnate, and prepares did I do that right? Bruh, the editors are gonna make fun out of me. Please, guys, I'm trying my best. But basically, he summons this Vengeful Curse Spirit Incarnate and prepares his maximum technique called Uzumaki. As he does, Yuta makes a final pact with Rika, saying he will give his life to her if she fights at full strength. Geto calls him a womanizer, and Yuta responds with, "How rude, this is pure love, bitch," and they both send their final attacks to clash. Yuta wakes up after the clash with Maki, Toge Inumaki, and Panda around him. They are mostly healed from their wounds and they thank him for saving them. Yuta says you're welcome, and Rika says his name, prompting him to remember his agreement before the final clash. The others can't believe he made that decision, but then suddenly Rika's curse form disintegrates and she is standing in her human form as a child. Satoru Gojo arrives, saying that the curse is finally broken, and explains to Yuta that he was the person who cursed Rika, keeping her around after she died. Yuta cursed her accidentally at the scene of her death, and ever since she was the one protecting him. Satoru Gojo also reveals that Yuta is a distant relative of his and is a descendant of the Jujutsu Sorcerer Vengeful Spirit Mishizane Sugawara. Hopefully I pronounced that right, I probably butchered it halal. Yuta proceeds to cry, saying keeping Rika around and all the people getting hurt was all his fault. Rika comforts him by hugging him and saying thank you because she had been happier in the past 6 years than when she was alive. She tells him bye and to take his time before coming over to the other side. With Rika now dispelled, Yuta continued his time as a Jujutsu sorcerer, but the events between Rika dispelling and his return to the main series is unknown. So, did Yuta leave Rika dispelled, or did he find a way to bring her back into his katana? In the most recent chapters, we don't see Yuta with the ring that Rika gave him. He used it to summon Rika before, but now it looks like his sword is his main weapon of use. If Yuta was able to fully take Satoru Gojo's advice and move Rika into his sword, and that would mean she is actually back, but we still have to see exactly what the situation is. Yuta possesses a shit ton of powers with Rika. Let me explain all of the abilities so you can understand the manga a lot better, so please stick around only for a moment longer. Essentially, Yuta is a special grade sorcerer because Rika is a manifestation of his vast power, which is endless. She protects him from anything she sees as a threat. However, her presence aggravates other curses and sets sorcerers on edge, as we see from Jujutsu Kaisen 0 and the latest chapter 139. She is so powerful that she can kill large curses with ease and rip through them. She also has the power to teleport multiple people within a bubble, which is convenient to keep people safe or transportation. Yuta is currently 17, and as time goes on with his training, mental health getting better, and harnessing curse energy properly this time round, Rika ends up getting more advanced and can also evolve into stronger forms. As I described earlier, as Yuta becomes more intense, she was able to create a mass of curse energy that caused a massive explosion to defeat another special grade sorcerer called Geto. Not only that, but Yuta also has a technique called replication, which allowed him to copy other people's powers when we witnessed him do this with Inumaki's cursed speech. He also has healing, which is so advanced to the point of being able to recover lost limbs, and as of now, we are assuming he infuses his cursed energy with the sword, which he must be proficient at this point. Anyway guys, that is everything you need to know about Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 0 and the prequel. You now understand Yuta Okkotsu's powers, what his story is, and why people say he can be stronger than Satoru Gojo in the future. Please hit the notification button, like the video, and I'll see you guys next time.